Alright guys, so in this video we're going to talk about how to graph a parabola in sort of its basic form. So a parabola is sort of a line, I don't want to call it a line, it's not technically a line, that sort of looks like this. A lot of you guys call them parabolas. Um, it's a parabola. So um, unlike a regular just straight line, Alex makes you plot 2 points to make that line. You're gonna have to plot you're going to have to plot 5 points. So when you do this, you're going to need to do 5 points when you plot it. It's going to make a little bit more sense when you actually graph it as to why that is, but you're going to have to do 5 points. So in true fashion of me trying to show you the simplest way, I won't say the easiest, but the simplest way to understand of how to do something. We're just gonna just jump right into it. So over here on the right, I have a table that we're gonna fill in for our plot for our points. So when you graph a parabola, I'm always gonna say to do the following points, and that's 0, 1, -1, 2, and -2. You might have to do a little harder. Um, you might have to change them up once you get to higher levels, but just as we're starting to learn it, these are the points that I want you guys to graph. And it'll make a little sense, but don't worry about that. So, when you start this, I want you, the first thing you do is to look at your equation. So your equation is y equals 1/3 x squared. And this is going to essentially give you that shape. It's just a matter of where exactly on the graph that's going to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the 5 points that I told you, and we are going to plug them in for the value of x. That way we can figure out what y is. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in 0. So 0 squared. So 0 squared first is 0, and then 1/3 times 0 is 0. This is why I always say use 0, because a lot of the times it's going to give you something basic. If it's one of your easier first sets of learning how to do something, it's probably going to be 0 is going to probably be the answer. Anyway, so moving on. So the next one we're going to do is 1/3, and then your x value is going to be 1. Okay, so 1 squared is 1, and then 1/3 times 1 equals 1/3. So then I'm going to go and I'm going to say 1/3. That is my value for 1. Okay, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to say -1. And sometimes you might want to just, for those of you that are having a hard time understanding exactly how this goes, you might want to just put like a parentheses there, just so you know that this is what you need to focus on. But I don't know, that's just for the people that don't quite, their brain doesn't compute. Anyway, so -1 squared, that's -1 times -1, is going to give you +1. And then I have 1/3 times 1, which is going to give me 1/3 again. Now, this is why I say do 0, 1, -1, 2, and -2, because oftentimes that x value is going to be squared, right? And it doesn't matter if it's a negative value. So if you do 1 and -1, a lot of the times it's not going to change the actual value of your y value when it comes out of the function, if that makes sense. Okay, anyway, so going to the next one. I know you're like, Miss Evans, just hurry up and get to the answer, right? Okay, so 1/3 times 2 squared. So that'll give us 4. And then 1/3 times 4. Oh boy, we have to do math, right? That's 4/3. Because technically 4, 1 times 4, 3 times 1, for those who are like, how do I multiply fractions? And then I'm going to do again -2 squared, and then 1/3 on the outside. -2 times -2 is 4, and then 1/3 times that is going to again give me 4/3. All right, so when you go and plot this, especially since these are fractions, it's going to be a little harder to exactly find that out on the line, it should give you an option. There's usually the ones where you can just sort of plot the point, but there should be one where you can put the x value and the y value in, and then it says plot point after that. Just put the point into the box and then hit plot point. Because if you don't hit the plot point, then you're just putting it in. It recognizes, but you actually have to hit the plot point button for it to actually plot. So make sure you're going ahead and going to do that. I would suggest that you guys use that specific function on Alex when you go and you plot these points, because it'll get a little tricky to exactly get in the right spot when you're just eyeballing it. Okay, so that is how you graph a parabola in its basic form. If you need more help, let me know. Good luck, guys.